So, good afternoon everyone. I am Gracious Meiji Agua, and today we will learn about the nature of cities, definitions, and favored locations. According to David Harley, the right to the city is far more than the individual liberty to access urban resources. It is a right to change ourselves by changing the city. So this is all about industrialization and urbanization. It identifies how an international migrants affect large cities and population create developments. Further, this topic will provide perspective about the cities, merging urban regions and settlements. So first, an urbanizing world. Second, the settlement roots, region or revolution of cities, and also lastly is the function of cities. So the unurbanizing world in 2007 the world reached a major turning point wherein because of the industrialization there is a rapid urbanization, for example in highly developed regions of Western Europe and North America. Because of the industrialization, increase the standard living of people and rising the population living in the cities. So here, when we compare 1950 and year 2007, there is a progress, economic growth, and development. No? There is a period of social and economic change, no, from agrarian to reliance on manufacturing. So merging urban regions, when separate major urban complexes expand along the superior transportation facilities connecting them. They may be eventually bind together at their outer margins and create the extensive urban regions or conurbations. So when we say conurbations, it made up of two words, the con and urban. So meaning continuous urbanizations. And conurbation comprising metropolis, town, cities, and urban area that have merged to form continuous na industrially developed area. Next is settlement roots. The major cities of today had humble origins in a simple cluster of dwelling that was the starting point for human settlements everywhere. Rural settlements in developing countries are often expressions of subsistence economic systems, in which farming and fishing cultures produce no more than their individual families can consume. So some factors of settlement routes are the water supply, the land, no, the land if it is fertile, no, and suitable for their agriculture, and also the climate. So next is the origin and evolution of cities. Cities and civilization are inseparable. So when we say civilization, it is a stage of human development, their advanced technology, well-organized and developed society, where people shared a method of communication, administrative infrastructure, and also the characteristic having a characteristic of government, writing, art, social structure, or religion. So they are have the same Latin root, civis. Cities originated in or diffused from the early culture hearts that first developed sedentary agriculture. So cities is the center of all parts of early civilizations. Cities abounds with contradictions, stimulously display the extremes of luxury and misery, beauty and squalor. Region and evolution of cities, no, urban population, social organization, location, and regional power. So nature of cities, no, all cities must perform functions, have an economic base, yes, in order to generate the income necessary to support themselves. All cities, large or small, ancient or modern, have experienced problems of land use, social conflict, and environment quality. Location of urban settlements. So, the urban settlements locations, the geographers usually distinguish between site and situations. So, when we say site, no, it is the characteristic of the place, no, the climate, example, the climate conditions, and the situations naman is it is another term of relative location. So, break of bulk locations which river crossing point where car goes and people must interrupt a journey. So, location of urban settlements, K factor 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So, island, elevated sites, transportation epochs, optimal locations for urban growth, head of navigation or bay head locations, and railhead locations. Next is the function of cities. Economic base. Economic base theory was developed by noticing that economic well-being of small remote resource-dependent towns was proportional to the value of goods they sold to outside market. Urban-based economic activities account for more than 50% of the gross national product in all countries and up to 80% or more in the more urbanized states. So one of the function of cities is there is an economic base. Next, cities as central place. Now, central place are nodes for the distribution of economic goods, no, and services to surrounding non-urban populations. Urban influence zones are the areas outside a city that are still affected by it. As the distance away from a community increase, its influence in the surrounding countryside decreases. So that's all, and thank you for listening.